Hi all, welcome to another Veterans Hub video, a live video actually. So let's see if this is working, see if anyone can hear me. Right, so I think that's working okay. So yeah, welcome to another Veterans Hub video. Thank you for watching, and obviously because it's a live one, you can comment as we talk. And please do share it as well. We're going to discuss a subject that I said earlier on in the week I would talk about, and this is it really. So I want to talk about mental health, and in particular I want to talk about suicide. The reason for this is, since the beginning of this year, and you know, please do correct me if I'm wrong, there's been on average within the veterans community one suicide every other day, if not every 3 days, and this is a mixture of both serving and those that have served, so veterans. The problem is, I think, you know, and please, you know, do correct me if you think I'm wrong, I think suicide is seen as a dirty word. It's something we don't want to talk about. It's something that, you know, makes us everyone feel very uncomfortable, you know, talking about. It's a weird one for me because, you know, we openly talk about things such as cancer, heart disease, lung disease. We talk about, you know, mental health, or we're getting better at talking about mental health. But one thing we don't do, for some reason, you know, suicide is still a taboo subject. And I'm convinced that while it is still a taboo subject, while people are still scared to talk about it, we're continuing to see the rates rise or carry on like they are. You know, I'm not naive. You're never going to stop suicide, never. You know, but it'd be good to see, you know, the rates brought down. It'd be good to see more things put in place so that people don't feel they have to take that final step. I think it'd be really good if people could just start being more open about it, because we all have down days, we have bad points in our lives, some of us more than others. Everyone who has followed the hub, knows that I do struggle. And if you haven't seen one of my videos before, or you haven't don't know my background, the reason I'm going to talk about this, and you know, and the way in which my background links in with the suicide, I'll explain now. So, you know, I'm diagnosed with complex PTSD, depression, anxiety, like a dissociative disorder, and you know, they're looking at possibly, because of all that, because PTSD is such a wide encompassing bracket, you know, they're talking about some kind of emotionally unstable personality disorder as well at the moment. So what does that mean for me? That means I struggle a lot. You know, I'm on a lot of meds, and one of the things is, you know, I do struggle with thoughts of suicide all of the time, sometimes on a daily basis. You know, and I am embarrassed by that, and I do feel shame that I think about doing that at times. So therefore I understand why it can be a taboo subject, but what I'm trying to say here is it shouldn't be a taboo subject. I've known three good friends to have killed themselves. I know another 5 people that have killed themselves, and that's just people that I know personally. I've survived 3 suicide attempts in my life. And I don't, you know, I'm not one of these people that I go, oh, I'm going to go out and kill myself if someone doesn't stop me. When I get them thoughts in my head, when I feel that I need to push forward with that action, when I'm no longer in control of my thoughts, when I'm in a dark, lonely place, I just go and do it, and it's as simple as that. And I'm just fortunate, lucky, blessed, whatever you want to call it, that people have actually found me or intervened or whatever it is, you know. The thing is, the whole subject basically breaks me. You know, I because I've been in them places, and I know how dark and lonely and scary it is. You know, it breaks me because 9 out of 10 people are going to kill themselves, think that's the only way forward. They think no one cares, they think no one understands, they think no one wants to be there for them. They're tired or whatever it is, and you know, it's a heartbreaking thing to think that their last thoughts were possibly that no one cared, or no one can help, or no one can understand. So that's why I'm adamant we must talk about suicide rates. We must stop the word suicide, you know, from staying a taboo word with a massive stigma surrounding it. You know, it's not sorry, I'm finding it really hard to talk about this, but yeah, it's what we need to be doing is asking more people if they're okay. We need to explain to people that it's okay to reach out. We need to explain to people that there are those that do get it, that there are those that will sit by your side and hold your hand as you work your way through a problem. And I think people like myself that are in a position to do it without causing themselves any mental anguish need to be more open about speaking about their suicide attempts or their idealisation or their attempts at self-harm, because it all works hand in hand. But you know, for me, I heard earlier this year that I heard actually 2 weeks ago that from one regiment alone in the British Army, 6 men have killed themselves since the 1st of January. 2 of my friends that killed themselves were soldiers as well. So this whole conversation, you know, I know I'm not going massive places with it, but what I'm trying to say is I'm doing this video to explain that I've attempted to kill myself. I have suicidal ideation. I know I'm not the only one, and the only way we're going to reduce numbers is to talk about it. I think it's really sort of a damning insight on our society that, you know, the biggest killer in the UK of men under I think it's 43, 44 is suicide. Yeah. I think it's a damning indictment of this society that, you know, I think it's every hour or two in the UK someone attempts to kill themselves. I think it's a damning indictment upon us as a society that, yeah, depression, suicide, you know, mental health problems, mental health illness is one of the, I think, the 3rd or 4th biggest killer in the world. And the only way we're going to stop this is to be more open, to talk about it, to let people know that they're okay, to let people know that there is help out there. You know, their thoughts don't have to define who they are, what they do, or what actions they take in life. And that's it, really. And you know, funnily enough, one of the reasons I think there's still, or I know there's a stigma around it is, I'll give you a case example. Someone the other day that I know and support went through their chain of command to the boss of their company that they work for and said that they were struggling with depression and they had suicidal thoughts. The company's reaction to that was to basically medically suspend them. And when I spoke to the company that had done that, what they said was they didn't know how to deal with someone who had a mental health problem. They didn't know if that person would pose a risk to them. And I'm wondering, you know, when I spoke to them, I thought, what? That's just, that example right there is proof that we don't talk about mental health enough. That is still a stigma around it. You know, because they wouldn't have medically suspended someone who said they had a heart problem. They wouldn't have medically suspended someone who said they had the onset of cancer. They wouldn't have medically suspended someone who went in and said, I need a few days off because I've got diarrhea, you know, or whatever. But someone walks in and said, I need a few days off because I'm struggling with my mental health and I've got suicidal thoughts, gets medically suspended. There's something wrong. There's something wrong basically within this community, our society, when that can happen. Mental health is a bona fide illness. Having a mental health problem doesn't mean that you're going to be violent, doesn't mean you're going to go out there and hurt people. Struggling with PTSD doesn't mean that you're going to go out there and be violent and hurt people. You're more than likely just going to hurt yourself. Struggling with suicidal thoughts doesn't mean that you're going to be a danger to anyone else. You're a danger to yourself, and what you need is actually people to rally around you, not push you away. So yeah, we need to talk more. We need to be more open, and above all, we need to make sure people understand that there are individuals and organisations like ourselves out there, and myself, that will step up and help you if you so require it. I'm just seeing, I think, thank you, Sarah. That's it really, you know. So this was a bit of a random video. I've gone on a little bit. There was no structure to it, and usually there is, but you know, I'm getting a little bit fed up, as I said, of hearing, reading about people taking their own lives or being put in a position where they feel that's the only way out. So if you take anything from this video, it's basically be more open, be more understanding, have more empathy, talk more about the subjects that society as a whole treats as a stigma. And if you are someone who's struggling with mental health or suicidal thoughts, you know, I'm your proof right here that, you know, you can work through it. You know, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and no matter how long that journey takes, you will get through it, and there are people like me that will help you get through it. You're not on your own. All you've got to do is reach out. That is it, I think. Right, folks, take care. Drop us a message if you want to. Please share this video. Correct me on anything that I've got wrong. And that's it. You know, take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Be good to others. And that is it. This call sign is out.